Here's the trivia question to determine the first pick. Are you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
Before Deshaun Watson this year, who was the last player to lead the NFL in passing yards with 12 or more losses?
Matthew Stafford.
That's a good guess. That's a very good guess. It was actually Jeff George of the Oakland Raiders in 1997. Jeff George led the league in passing yards, and the team
Very
was
good.
not
That's
good.
a good
That
question.
pretty much summarizes his career, and it was a year before John Gruden arrived as the head coach of the then Oakland Raiders. All right, the first pick for me, it's got to be Lamar Jackson. We talked about it earlier. He's 0-2 in the postseason, and he has not played well in playoff games, especially when you consider the dichotomy between his performances in the regular season and the postseason. It makes it even more glaring. This year down the stretch, since returning from the COVID-19 issue that he dealt with that knocked him out of the game against the Steelers that was postponed 6 days after Thanksgiving, he's been great. And this is the time. Now is the time for him to step up and show us that in the postseason, he's the same guy that he is in the regular season, Peter.
Show me something Chase Young and Montez Sweat. For all the hullabaloo around, especially Chase Young, but around the Washington pass rush in general, neither of those guys were double-digit sackers this year. They combined for 16 and a half sacks. I think they need 3 between them on Saturday night to come through and to really show that, you know, they have an opportunity in this game to legitimately be better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're going to have to be better on defense, because there's absolutely no way with the offense in the shape the way it is in Washington right now that they're going to be a high-scoring team. So their defense has to win this game. And that is why I say, show me something, Chase Young and Montez Sweat.
Of all the names that we could have put on a list of potential candidates for this draft on Monday, the name at the very bottom, if on the list at all, would have been Mike Prefer, the Browns special teams coordinator. He's my next choice because, look, hey, this is it, Mike. We hear all the time special teams coordinators should be considered more frequently for head coaching jobs. This is your chance to carry the flag of all special teams coordinators by being the head coach in place of Kevin Stefanski for Sunday night Browns-Steelers. It's happened before for Prefer on a Thursday night game for the Vikings against the Cowboys a few years back when Mike Zimmer was having his eye problems. The stakes are slightly higher here. It's only the first playoff game in a generation for the Cleveland Browns. So show me something, Mike Prefer, and do it for all of your special teams coordinating brethren.
You know, I'm going to stay in that same game. I'm going to stay with the same team. Show me something, Baker Mayfield. This is the type of game that you were drafted to win. When everybody says there's no chance, when all the odds are against you, when you're not practicing, when all you're doing is sitting at home the whole week, looking at a Zoom screen and doing all of your game planning virtually. If you're doing anything to stay in shape, it's on the treadmill in your home gym. And so I want to see when the odds are stacked against Baker Mayfield, that he comes out and says, in the memory of John Dorsey, who brought me here in 2018, when we stunk, when we were 1-31 over the previous 2 years, I came here to turn the fortunes around of this franchise. Tonight is the night. And I don't care how many things are against us. I am coming out at Heinz Field and beating our arch rivals on the road.
You're aware John Dorsey's still alive, right? I'm just making sure.
Of course.
All right. Just checking.
Perhaps I could
John
have
Dorsey.
said, perhaps I could have said, I think back fondly on John Dorsey.
All right, there we go. Just making sure. I wanted to make sure this wasn't the John Dorsey Memorial Super Duper Wildcard Weekend Show Me Something draft. All right, next one for me, Mitchell Trubisky, Bears quarterback. Look, plenty of these other quarterbacks have legacy riding on the outcome. Mitchell Trubisky has his football future riding on the outcome. You lose this game, pretty good chance you're not going to get any type of a significant contract anywhere, including Chicago, for 2021. You beat the Saints in the playoffs, you propel your team to the final 8, maybe people start viewing you differently. If you have a good game against a very good Saints defense, I'm not saying you will, but this is your chance. This is your opportunity. Your ship may come in if you can get it done in New Orleans, especially at a time when most people expect that it won't happen for the Bears. So show me something, Mitchell Trubisky, and fatten your bank account in the process.
I think he could show us something if he played well and lost, but we shall see. Because if he plays a competitive game, has a good individual day, and they lose 32-28, people are going to be saying, like Kyle Shanahan, like some people who at least want to bring in someone to compete for that starting job, all of a sudden, Mitchell Trubisky vaults ahead of, say, Cam Newton on the scrap heap quarterback division, in 2022 or 2021. My final show me is going to be Phillip Rivers. Show me something, Phillip Rivers. At the start of the year, Mike, if I had told you that the Indianapolis Colts would be the 7th team in the AFC playoff seeding, you would have said, okay, decent, that's all right. But you wouldn't have said, oh my God, what a great job by the Colts. Everybody sort of figured that they might be somewhere between, 5 and 8 in there. So being the 7th playoff seed is not why Chris Ballard wrote a $25 million check to Phillip Rivers. He did that, and he signed Phillip Rivers to come in to be reunited with Frank Reich because he wanted him to play great in January. This could be Phillip Rivers' last ever January football game. So show me something, Phillip Rivers.
Let's extend it by a round, Peter, because there's many more we could get to. I'm going to go to Russell Wilson. Show me something, Russell Wilson, simply because we're getting farther and farther away from those 2 Super Bowl appearances. He has a sense of urgency to continue to build his legacy. So many great quarterbacks out there with 1 Super Bowl win, desperate to get to 2. He intends to play for a long time, but each year is 1 fewer opportunity than he ultimately will have to get to a Super Bowl and try to win it. It begins with a game against a division rival, 2 potential Super Bowl caliber teams. 1 is going to get knocked out. And if it's Russell Wilson versus John Wolford, I don't think you want that on your permanent record that you lost to John Wolford, Peter.
At home. At home. Mike, I'll end it with show me something, David Montgomery. And, I know you talked about Trubisky, but I just don't have a lot of faith in Mitchell Trubisky to play great in the Superdome on Sunday afternoon. But I do have faith in David Montgomery, who's had 3 100-yard games since Thanksgiving, who really has been the bulk of this offense when push comes to shove and when needed down the stretch of this season for the Bears. And I think David Montgomery holds the chances of the Bears in his hands in this game. He's got to make sure that Mitchell Trubisky doesn't have a bunch of 3rd and 8s. He's got to get yards on 1st down. He's got to find a way to get 5 and 6 yards on 1st and 2nd down so that they're not in bad situations on 3rd down. It's a huge game for David Montgomery. So show me something, David.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.